Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to week five. And week five, we're starting a new episode. Today, this week, we are going to be looking at building your portfolio website. Building your UX design portfolio website. Last 3 weeks, we looked at creating a US case study, and by now, I want to um, by now I believe every one of us have already started working on our case study. Some of us are already done with our case study. Some are even working on another one. Some are still in the process of completing the case study. It's fine, right? Like I said, if it's going to take you more time than 3 weeks to finish up the case study, it's fine. At the end of the day, the most important thing is, are you doing the right thing? Right? That's the most important thing, because this is not a competition thing. This is not a thing of, because Toby is done within 2 weeks. I need to quickly round up my no. Make sure you are solving a problem. Make sure that thing you are working on, when anybody sees it, when anybody read it, they know that yes, no, Kelvin is good at this design. No, with this case study, I think we want to hire Kelvin, right? So that is the main purpose, right? So, um, for the cohorts, the duration is 9 weeks. For some people, if you feel okay, there are some activities, right? Especially the US case study, it will take you, let's say, 1 month or 5 weeks to get your own done. Just keep working on it as we keep going on to the next phase. So now, if you are still working on your case study, and now we are in another section that talks about portfolio, just keep working on that, and just pay attention. Note everything that you need to note in the next session, so that probably at the end of the cohort, you now want to carefully take all this decision and make use of them. You understand? So I don't want everybody to feel pressured. I don't want you to feel like, because we're now in the new um, section or new part of this cohort, and you've not even completed the first part, that means, I'm a failure, or I'm not you know doing what I'm supposed to do. Don't feel bad, right? We all have our different ways of doing things and our time, but this doesn't mean you should now slack. This doesn't mean you should now feel relaxed. No. You understand? So welcome once again, guys, to week five. Today we are going to be learning a lot about portfolio websites, a lot of things, and I want us to pay attention. I want us to follow along. All right. So um today we have 4 point agenda. The first one is to talk about the activity for this week. The second one is talk about building your portfolio websites. um, Third one is things to do this week, and we will now open doors for questions. So for this week, like I said earlier, we are going to build we are going to start to build our portfolio website. And this particular session is just going to be open for 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks, because the major place where the work is the US case study. Your with portfolio websites, there is a tool you would need to you will use, that will save you all of the time of designing from scratch, right? When you now have the time, to design from scratch, you can do that, right? But at this point, we are making sure we are using things that will make our work faster, because the goal of everyone here is to get a job. And when you get a job, you can have peace of mind, you can have money to do other things, and at that point you can now start to explore design. If you like, use 6 months to design your personal website to look very fine. At that time, you have things going on. You are improving your career, you are making money. You can now invest the time in doing all of those things. But for now, we want to make sure we use the right resources, the resources that is free to use, and can give us the ultimate results, right? I'm going to tell us that also this week. And this activity involves creating an impressive personal portfolio website, where you can showcase your skills, host your US case study, other works, document your career journey, include essential sections such as contact information about me, and a link to your CV or resume. And also, like I've already said, make sure you allocate enough time to make this work, to effect all of these things, right? So Now, we want to dive straight into, building your portfolio website. I want you guys to follow along. I want you guys to pay attention to everything that I'm about to say in the rest of the slide. So, in talking about building your portfolio website, we have 5 aspects that we're going to be looking at. The first one is, what is UX design portfolio, or what is your portfolio website? What is a UX design? Why is a UX design portfolio important? The third one is, what to include in a UX portfolio website. Another one is, the fourth one, is additional tips to take notes. And the last thing we're going to be looking at for this is the key takeaways, right? What we need to take away from all of what I'm going to be telling us today. So now, the first one, what is a UX design portfolio? So it's very simple, right? A UX design portfolio is a collection of UX design case studies that showcase your skill set and your approach to the design process as a whole. That is what the portfolio is about. So, like I said, when you work on a case study, you are showing your design process, you are showing your problem-solving ability, skill, and so many things. So now, let's imagine you work on 2 case studies or 3 case studies. Now, in your portfolio website, you are going to be including all of those things, housing it under your portfolio website. So now, typically, most people choose to build their portfolio online in a form of a website as an additional layer of demonstration that they understand how to create effective digital interface and flows. So now, furthermore, the online portfolio is then shared as part of the job interview process, so potential employers can see detailed example of how you approach various challenges in UX design, in problem solving, understanding users, research, storytelling, perhaps most importantly, your ability to empathize with the user journey. So you can see that your case study itself, as you've been able to show all of this skill in your case study. So now your portfolio is now to house all of this case study, including your talking about yourself, your CV, everything about you as regard your career in one place, right? So now the next one is, why is this portfolio then very important? Why is it important? Why should you have it? Your portfolio plays a major role in interview candidates for most product and UI UX design roles. Now, if you're applying for a role, in part of I know most of us must have applied for a role at a point in time. When we're applying for the role, there's always a section where they'll ask you for your portfolio link. This is where this portfolio website comes in. Now, in the portfolio link, when you submit it to them, what they want to see, what the hiring manager or the recruiter want to see there is, your UX design case studies, a section where they can contact you, where they can gain access to your CV and resume, where they can get to know more about you, your other works, either UI design exploration, anything else, right? They want to see that. They want to scan all those things before they now even reach out to you to say that, okay, you have been scheduled for an interview. So now, most of us, what we do is to just send our Behance link. When you send your Behance link only has that particular case study. And like I've said, sending Behance link is not the way to go, because there is a part in which I'm still going to talk about that talks about usability and accessibility. It doesn't pass it, right? It doesn't give that. You are not able to express that article-like presentation with Behance. That's why I recommend on a low scale, use Medium. Then as you progress, you can now you host your case study on your own personal website. So okay, it is important, in fact, that most applications can be moved forward or ignored based on a quick glance through the portfolio. See what I just said? By looking at your portfolio, they will make a decision. So the way you arrange it, the information you put there, the things you put there will determine whether the recruiter wants to proceed with you or want to ignore you. So you can see that using Behance, just sending a link of such would totally, end up to rejection. You just keep on getting that rejection email, and you feel, what is happening? But you don't know it's because you know, you've not done all these things, and they are very, very, very important. So the next part is what to include in a UX portfolio website. So now I highlighted 9 important things you need to include in your portfolio website. And the first one is an about me section or page. This about me section or page, this is where you share your story, right? You share your own story. So I like the unique skill, personality, and perspective that you are able to bring to the table. So, like I said earlier, hiring managers want to rapidly find out about you. They want to find out things about you. For example, your work, your skill background, what interests you. They want to make sure your personal bio is easy to find. Just tell, your storytelling, right? How you're able to tell, for example, you could even write in your about, what led you to design, right? Your passion, different things. They want to get, because for some company, when they are hiring you, apart from your skill, they want to know the kind of personality you have. And another thing is make sure that it's brief and short. You infuse storytelling. Just make it, when someone can be easily scanned through information about you. So the second one is a contact section. A contact section is very, very important, because you don't want a situation whereby, okay, you have everything in your portfolio website and there's no way I can contact you. That means, it's just like you rent an office space and you don't have an address. A contact information is very important, right? We all know, we should all know that. The next one, which is one of the most important thing, is the case study, the UX design case study itself, in which we use 3 weeks in tackling all of those things. We already know what a UX case study means. It shows a comprehensive story, a comprehensive view of our design work. It shows how of a problem solver we are. It shows the process in which we went through, and everything that recruiters and managers want to see. I want to use to judge you in hiring you for that job. The fourth one here is to include bonus projects. So now this is optional. If you have them, include. If you don't have bonus projects, you can overlook it. So now the question is, what are bonus projects? So bonus projects are, for example, the UI exploration. Now maybe okay, I think some designers, and I think once in a while I also do that, whereby I just say, okay, we designed this, or design this, right? Those little UI exploration that you did to just redesign, you can also add it as a section in your portfolio. Say, UI design exploration, right? But make sure it's good quality. Make sure you are not just dumping any random UI or any random bonus project. Make sure it's your best work, right? So those are bonus projects. As apart from UX design, you can also include your UI design exploration and all those things into it. Also, another bonus project is probably you design. It could be graphics, it could be logo, maybe sketch something or something that is very visually fine. You just want to add. You can also do it as long as it's good work. You can always add it, but it's not compulsory, right? It's just, like I said here, if you have them. So the fifth one is an up-to-date generalized version of your CV. So what this means, we all know what a CV is, a resume. So you need to make sure you include a place where someone can download your CV on your resume without contacting you. They should be able to download. Your resume should have an up-to-date, a place you've worked. If you don't have an experience, things you've done, everything, right? After spending 2 weeks on this, I think next upper we were also going to be looking at how to craft a good CV, right? So you are going to learn about that. So the sixth one is include your elevation pitch. So the design of your portfolio itself is a prime opportunity for you as a UX designer, as a product designer, to demonstrate that you know what good UX mean. Do you understand? So now, part of UX is communication, the writing. So everything you write, from about you, from the hero section, from everything, it should be good. So, your portfolio website alone, when anybody sees it, it should be something that when you see, they can use to judge you already, to say, oh, we want to hire this person. And when they come into the interview room, it's just going to be very easy. Like, you're not even going to do too much because your portfolio has done most of the work. So I hope that is clear. So the seventh one on this list is incorporate visual design and brand style. So now I think okay, what this means is that whether or not you create a logo or use unique typography for yourself, you should always have a brand and personal style. Your brand is the sum total of the presentation choices you make. So make these choices mindful and make them meaningful. Even just setting your name in a simple text rather than creating a monogram can say something about your approach to design solution. Right? So what this means is, how you portray some things about yourself, when designing. For example, you see some people in their portfolio website, they'll use their full name in a stylish font. Some will add a color, some will add, a picture of themselves as a logo. Just all these things goes a long way to show, this person has, UI skill. Like the overall thing is when someone visits your, portfolio, they should be able to see that, this person is good when it comes to UX. Oh, this person is good when it comes to visuals, when it comes to UI. That is what, this particular part is talking about. Then the eighth one is usability. And I said something about that earlier, and in relation to you not using Behance. Now, like I said, your portfolio judges, how experienced you are. So now, it's tempting to make a strong statement through the visual design of your portfolio website pages. So what this means is that if your portfolio website is not properly done, if you don't design it well, that means you are not good. Even if you are good, that means you are not good, because it's the first hand. Because now, for your own portfolio, you are not designing it well. Are you now going to be the one to now design a good product when they hire you? So that's why portfolio website is like the ultimate, is what gives you the opportunity to sell yourself. Now, there's nothing wrong. Now, remember that the primary purpose of your portfolio is to present the story behind your case study, allow people to find information they can, they need quickly and effectively. So, for example, avoid experimental navigation that might frustrate the user. So now, I know that some people must have, come across different websites, personal websites, even to front-end engineers and all, and you see some website, before it loads, like, you take time. Some, when you click on the navigation, it's going to delay, do some, some of those things sometimes are unnecessary. The experience, you are making it hard. It's part of experience. So even though you want to be creative, there is limitation. You still need to make sure that the experience is clean, right? Don't create a portfolio design that's so elaborate that it outshines the work you are presenting. So what that says is, like, the interaction, everything you've done is now overshadowing the work itself. You need to be able to balance both together. I hope that is clear. And usability also, people should be able to read through, they should be able to scan through. Now, if you compare a case study hosted on a website or on Medium and compare it to Behance case study, you see that it's different. You see that the experience is different. The way you are going to read a case study hosted on Medium or a personal website, you can't read it that way, on Behance. Behance, you need to zoom out before you can read the text. You need to zoom in. Now, using Behance, because you are placing it on text, on image, and all those things, you've forgotten that most of the time, hiring managers and recruiters, some of them could have, visual issues. Like some cannot read clearly on all those things, and you don't want to stress people, right? It's part of the experience that we're talking about. But if you use platform like Medium, or you post it on your website where the legibility, everything is clean, people can read it well, you are making the life easy for them to scan through. So that's why I always encourage. Behance is majorly for graphic designer, brand designers. I don't think it's appropriate for UI UX product designers to use Medium. And I've not even seen designers in all these top companies, right? When you ask them for your portfolio, or when you check up their profile, you don't see them use Behance to host their case studies. They use a website or Medium, a place where it's clean, it's clear. It can even help you, to show how good you are at what you do. Do you understand? So, I would encourage everyone to use Medium, or when you have a personal website, then host it on your personal website. Okay, I hope that is clear. And lastly, you also want to include, your Medium link on your website, and you also want to add other design related social media profiles. Like for example, if you use your Twitter to post design often, you obviously want to add it. If you now on Behance, now one of the things you can use Behance for is to post UI designs. If you have UI design exploration on Behance, that you can also add it. Dribble, you can add it, and all those related, whereby when someone view it, they can also get to see your Medium where you host your case studies, right? You can add it, and it's on your website, however you want to do that. So these are all of the things that you need to include in a UX design website. Then before I go to the next one, I want you guys to drop in the chat. I want to know if we are all following along, and if everything I've been saying is making sense. Then I can continue. Please just drop in the chat so that I know that we can all, we've all been following. Okay, thank you so much, Kelvin. Okay, thank you, Nana. Thank you, Oluwasegun. Thank you, Oluwanifemi. And thank you, Duba. Okay, so now the next part is additional tips to note. So, I listed 9 things that we need to prioritize. So now these additional tips are equally as important as what I shared earlier. So now, on your portfolio website, make sure to use lesser word. Like use less words on your hero section. Hero section, we all know what a hero section looks like. Now, on your portfolio website, you want to say, a product designer creating, intuitive, blah blah blah. Just make it short. And your hero section alone, when someone visits your portfolio website, your hero section alone should talk about what you do. Like someone should have a glimpse of what you do. You understand? So now another thing you want to make sure that is on your is on your portfolio website is a copy email address button, or you have a button. Instead of saying email me, you just put your email to say nana@gmail.com, like a CTA that is clear in the hero section, in one of the buttons there, right? Let's say in the hero section, after you've written, I'm a creative product designer, blah blah blah, the contact button there, make sure your email is there, right? Where they can, if they can copy, or they can even see the email clearly written there. Do you understand? As the CTA. Now if you include a CTA, when they click the CTA, it's just going to open up a tab and they can email you. Now what that does is you are making the experience easier for them. They don't need to start typing and all those things. So when they click it, it easily opens up, and that also shows how of an intuitive user design UX designer that you are. You are making life easy. You can say that now with all these little things, it is showing your skill of okay, this person is actually good. This person think outside of the box. So now another thing you want to add is clear CTA. And what do we mean by CTA? Call to actions. That is, download my CV, about me, all those call to action, make sure they are very precise and they are clear, right? Another thing you want to include is time zone. So now like we said, when you submit your portfolio website, right, the goal of submitting portfolio website is so that recruiter can make a decision. You don't want the whole experience to be to be hard for them. Like, they want to make decision at the go. So you don't want them to now start to reach out to you. Let them see all of the information that they need to see. And if they want to make decision to hire you, fine. If they don't want, it even saves you those stress of emailing back and all those things. So now, time zone, so that they know that if your time zone is compatible with their time zone, you are a good fit. Another thing you want to add is some of your UI, apart from UX design case studies, you want to add your UI design exploration, right? Like I said earlier. Also, you also want to add availability corner. What that means is that if you are visiting some, portfolio website, you see some will put available, open to work, or available for full-time role, or available for freelance role, or some will even say, they are not available. Make sure it's there so that they can know that if you are available for opportunity, if you are available for full-time, or if you are not available. Like I said, make sure you put all of the information that can make them make that decision on the go. Because the reason for this is there are always hundreds of people applying for a job and they want to make decision quickly. So they don't. Now let's imagine you don't have most of the information that they need to check to make the decision. Do you not expect them to now send emails to 100 people just to ask, what is your time zone? Are you available? They will just pick those people that already have the information that they want, and they will just ignore you. So all of these things is just how to be strategic, how to move past other people. I hope we are following along. Kelvin said, can I add a short video? Yes, Kelvin, you can add a short video to your Medium article. You can add motion, you can add anything. Just give it a try. You can go on YouTube to see different ways you can play around with Medium. Say Medium is the way to go on a low scale. If you don't have a personal website, Medium is the way to go, guys. And when you read something, when you read articles on Medium, you can see the experience. You can see that it gives you the vibe or the feel of you are reading an article, you are reading a news. The readability is clear, is clear to your face. As against Medium, the experience is different. You understand? So, okay, that answers your question, Kelvin. So now, the seventh one is showcase your best work. Your portfolio website is not just to put all the works you've done. No, it's for you to put your best work. If there are some UI exploration that you've done that it's not looking good, like yourself, don't put it. Put the best work. If it's just to put it, don't say I need to have more. No, that's why I encourage us, our case study, make sure we do the right thing. Don't just rush up and do a lot of. No, put the best work. Don't put two best work and put one low scale work. That it could be that low scale, that one work, let's say you have three and one of it is bad, that okay, this is not really good. It could be that one is the one that they're going to use to judge you, and you don't want that to happen. Put the best work. Yes, Kelvin, the font, right, is the readability is clear, like it passes accessibility, everything. So that's why I encourage us use Medium. Like, I can't overemphasize the importance of using Medium. Then as you progress, like I said, you can now use host on your own personal website, as an article, in a Medium style, that same way. So the 8th additional tips is be specific about your role in each of your US case study projects. So what this is about is, for example, I know most of us have collaborated with other designers in working on UX project before, right? Whereby probably you are the UX designer, the other person was the UI, some other person took care of the research, and you guys just work together, and you guys came up with a case study, and now those case study, everybody has rights to put it on their work. So you also need to make sure you state it. People that work on the case study with you is very, very important, right? You need to be very transparent about those things. So now, the last one is tell a story with your portfolio. I think I briefly mentioned, says, and I'm talked about it earlier. Storytelling is what it is right now, right? Make sure you tell a story, even to your case study, right? Everything. Make sure you tell a story, and in getting to know more about all these things, that's why we have the internet. You can read, oh, how can I improve on my storytelling, or how can I learn how to tell story. There are a lot of resources to guide us on this topic. So now, the next, the last thing is the key takeaways, right? The first thing is your UX design portfolio website is the number one tool that you use when applying for jobs, right? Like I said, you will always see that input box to say, okay, drop your portfolio link. That's the number one tool, and that's like the 80% metrics that are going to use to judge you when they are considering employing you for the role or not, right? So make sure you put in work into crafting a good portfolio, and everything I've said so far is more than enough for you to have a good portfolio out there. The second one is make sure to expand on the design process you use for each case study, in addition to the design work itself, right? Your case study also should be equally as good as your portfolio, because after they've visited your portfolio website, the next thing the recruiter or manager wants to check out is your case study to see the work you've done. So everything should be good, right? So, and the last takeaway is, if you don't have enough on the job design work to include in your portfolio, you can write case studies for redesign that this is particularly about what we talked about, right? Now, for you guys that have not had experience working on any company at all, you work on it redesigning a solution. Everything I talked about, when working on a US case study, finding a problem on a existing live product, working on it, this is the way to go. But if you've had experience, you've worked on a live product before, you can as well use the solution you work on that to write a case study. That's for those that have probably had experience working in a product before and are now looking for a new job. So all the key takeaways, everything that I've said, make sure you put it at the back of your mind when you are working on all of these things. Yes. Okay, I saw Kelvin comments. Obviously, when working on case study, I've said all of these things. There are different approaches to working on a particular case, that is a particular problem. There are no one way, but we all know all the things that is required as regard the problem we're working on. If empathy map is needed, make sure it's in your case study. If wireframe is needed, make sure it's there. If you need to use a user flow, there are a lot of components, right, or a lot of tools as regard to UX design. You don't need to use everything on every case you are working on. It depends on which one actually is needed for this problem I'm working on. Do you understand? So I think all of these things, we should all know all of these things by now. Okay, so now that is everything that we need to know about building our portfolio website. So for this week, we now need to start to work on our portfolio website, right? We need to start to work on our portfolio website. And now I know that if you want to go to the route of designing on Figma and all these things, it's going to take you a lot of time, right? There is a tool you can use. There is a tool you can use that is going to save you a lot of time in building a good portfolio website, and I'm going to show us. It's called Vizy. So I think, let me just quickly show us. Vizy.com.co. So this is the platform. Can we see? It's Vizy, vyz.co. So this is a no-code tool. It's very easy to use, right? As against, also you can use Framer or Wordflow if you want to, right? You can also use Framer or Wordflow. But this is like is even low. It is a no code to Framer or Wordflow. It's less, you know, it's simple to use, sort of. Yes, it's free to use, but for the free version, I think you can only have access to 3 pages, right? You can only have access to 3 pages, and if you want to increase, you have to pay. But for what you want exactly, yeah, I think Kelvin know about VC. 3 screens, but with the 3 screens, is still 3 screens is still enough. So the first screen is going to be the landing page, right? The second screen is then going to be, you know, for your case study, your project. Then the third one, you probably want to use it for, you know, about me. Do you get? Home, about me, and the contact is going to be on each of the pages. You understand? So they are templates. So if you look at these, okay, you can see the reviews here. Okay, I want to. Okay, let me click on create free sites. You know, you can explore their readily made, you know, templates, and you can also, you know, AI. You can input description for the AI, and the AI can generate, you know, the website for you. Okay, I was looking for template. Okay, I think you need to log in first before you can actually access that. But you know, it's easy to use, it's free. You know, just create an account, then explore it. So you would even see a template for UX designer itself. Then you can now make modification, and all of those things that I've highlighted, you can now include it. And now when you now host your case study on Medium, you are just going to link the link. So now when you have image, so this is mine, like, I'm coming. So this is my portfolio page on the Visit platform. Like, it's just like a temporary. When I was trying to explore the platform, you know, I just use it. So this is what I did, right? So I've done this a long time ago. This is what I just did, just to, you know, explore. So you can see I added. See what I said? I added email. When you click on this email, it opens up an email section for you. You know, I added as its CTA. Another thing I did, you can see, on you. So now look at this. You can switch from light to display. Can you see? You know, the hero section talks about you briefly. You know, you have a call to action of your resume. You know, it's not a one-way thing, right? You can explore, you can check other people's portfolio for inspiration. So this is just like a placeholder. I'm currently working on my portfolio. I'm designing from scratch. You know, I've been working on it for the past, you know, couple of months, right? So when it launches, also, it's going to be like sort of inspiration for most of us. So you know, selected work. So now, see what I did here. I hosted all this case study on Medium. So now when you click on this, so it's going to take you to Medium. Can you see? It will redirect you to Medium. So now look at this case study on Medium. Look at this. Is this not easy to read? Is this not clear enough? Now compare this to any Behance case study. You can't, right? It's totally, now with this you can easily skim through. You can see how I draw out a quote from, you know, what someone else is saying. You know, this shows how professional you are. This shows how of, you know, it shows a lot about you being a UX designer itself. You understand? So, you know, like, I don't think I need to over emphasize on how important, you know, Medium is, right? At this point, we should all know that Medium for now is the way to go. So you can see, you know, you can, okay, I think Kelvin asked about adding video. Can you see? This is a little motion. You can see I was able to add that. You know, you can do whatever on Medium. And also, when you create a Medium account, just search. You can search for US portfolio, US case studies. You are going to see tons and tons of case studies from designers all over the world that you can learn from. That, you know, I read Medium every day. I subscribe on Medium. I pay for my Medium channel because I want to access great content. I want to read articles. You understand? That's part of my investment. I pay, I think my solution is about $8 monthly that I pay, right? So guys, I can't overemphasize why you should host on a low scale, right? Host it on Medium, link it to your VC account. Then when you get the job, you can now dedicate time to now design your own your own portfolio. So look at this. You can see this is the contact page, right? There are different templates that you can use. So see the about. So the about, you can now use that one to talk about yourself briefly, add your experience. You can add a couple of other things, images, play around with it. Then the work, which is portfolio project, you can also use that to list all the projects. Then when you click on any of it, it takes you to Medium. Can you see? So so that's it, right? So okay, I just want to, so that's what we need to do this week, right? Using VC to build our portfolio website, using all of the things that I've mentioned. And then question, it's time for question and answer. If you have any question, drop it. But before we do that, I just want to briefly just show us my own portfolio that I've been working on. There have been a lot of iterations, so you can see it's because now the reason why I can work on my own portfolio is because I have time. It's because I have a job that is paying me, right? But at this time, you don't want to invest months to now start to build your portfolio when you need money, you need to get a job, right? That's why you need to go small scale. When you get a job, you can now invest all of your time in designing. So you can see I've been putting in work, to designing my my case study, my portfolio website. I've been putting in a lot of work to making, and I'm not even done. Like, I've done a lot of iteration and all of that, but you don't have the all the luxury of time to do that right now. Do you understand? Because it's going to take you time, it's going to take you months. And one thing about building your personal portfolio is you can never get satisfied, because as a designer you cannot satisfy yourself. The moment you say you are done with your design, you might see something that inspire you and be like, I need to go back. But at a point, you just make sure that, okay, when you decide to a point, you know that, okay, most of the important thing that needs to be tackled, you've already tackled them, and you can just push it out and update it as you keep going. So I hope everything I've said so far, we all understood it and is of value. We saw value in it. So it's time for question and answer. If you have any question that you want me to answer, please drop it in the chat, right? And if you feel you need to request a mic, you can also raise up your hand, signify and ask your question. Okay, Oluwafemi said, does my case study on Medium needs to be lengthy? So this question, I'm looking at how to answer this question. Now, a case study is showing all of the process. It's the same case study, the same way you've worked on your case study. That's the same way you are going to host it on Medium. Now, what I'm saying is, when you are done writing your case study, working on the design, the solution and everything, the platform you should use is Medium. That's what I'm saying. So all of the things you've written, everything should be on Medium. I hope that is clear. Like I said, after this call, go to download Medium, create an account, and search how to use Medium. Like, just search for case studies on Medium. For example, I'm coming. Let me show. Okay. So now this is my Medium account, my personal one. So now this is the home page. So if I come here and I search case studies, can you see? You see different case studies, redesigning, blah blah blah. You can see, you are going to see a lot of case studies. Can you see? So now let me click this. Okay, this case study is for a brand designer, is a redesign. Okay, let me click this one. So can you see this? This is the display. Can you see? You can even add a clip from, you can add emoji. I said emoji. You can add GIF to it. you can add so many things. Can you see? It's a case study. If your case study is lengthy, like I don't think that question is appropriate the way you asked it. The main essence of a case study is to show the problem you are able to solve, to show the solution. If it's lengthy, all the process should be shown. Do you understand? So you are not the one to decide if the case study is going to be lengthy or short. It's the problem you are solving that will determine. If all of the things that you did in your case study require, like there are a lot of information, a lot of things that you need to show, images and all that, put everything there. You are not the one to decide. It's what you worked on that will decide. I hope that is clear, Oluwanifemi. So are there other questions? Please, if you have any question as regard everything I've said, please drop it in the chat so that I can answer everything. Because I saw some designers on Twitter saying that recruiters won't go through ones that are too lengthy. Yes, okay. I think I now understand where you're coming from. So now, when you are writing your case study, you don't want to overemphasize some certain things. You don't want to, keep repeating things over and over again. You want to make it short, right? Fine. So now let's say, for example, let me look at this part. Let me look at this case study that we're looking at together. I just want to scroll up to a particular section. Okay, let's say this particular part. If there is a way you can reduce this part I've highlighted to like one paragraph, why not? And it's going to still convey, the information or what you want to say or what it's about. Why not? Right? What we are saying, what people meant by not too lengthy, is not to take out important information that is needed in your case study. Is to, we use lesser words. Right? Don't overemphasize. If you need to cut down something, if you need to make it brief, make it brief. But if your case study is if everything that you've worked on requires you to put images, put some information, don't say because it's going to be lengthy, you are avoiding it. No. Do you understand? At the end of the day, what should be at the back of your mind is not even, is my case study lengthy, is it brief or not? Is what you work on the case study, if you read it, if you send it to anyone, can they see the problem you solve? Does it show everything? Is it inclusive? Is everything embodied in your case study? That's the most important thing. I hope that is clear. Oluwanifemi. All right. Thank you. All right. I think there are no other questions from us, and I want to believe everything I've said so far is clear. We understood everything, and this week I expect us to now start to put all these things into action, right? Like I said, if you are still working on your case study, keep working on it. If you are done, start to work on your portfolio. Use VC, explore VC, use it to build your portfolio. If you want to use Framer, if you want to use Webflow, use any other alternative that you feel is good, use it. But all those key things that I highlighted, make sure you use them. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Have a productive week ahead, and until next time, do have fun and stay fab.